Alright, when doing new line set, do not use the factory flares that on there. Can you see how small this is? Now on the other video I showed you on the inside where I took someone off, it was proof that somebody used the factory line set. So here's a factory line set, and this is the factory's flare. That little itty dinky shit that was on there. Now here, this person made this flare, but they screwed it up by over tightening it and rotating it on the brass and everything. But this is the difference between near proper size flare that's a little too big, but one was way too small. When you bought your line set, this is the one the manufacturer made. That's a piece of shit. You don't want to use that. Here's the other manufacturer flare that barely is acceptable. That's a piece of shit. This is more like what you would want to see, other than they squished it out too much, but they use factory. Here is the bolt that came on the Fujitsu system. This was factory. You see how beefy that is? Now let me turn this around and compare. You see how tapered that is? There's barely any material. There's no shoulder. There's no strength to that. This is a piece of shit. This is what comes on your aftermarket line set. You don't use shit like this. You take off the old one off the old unit. You cut off what the factory gave you. You take their piece of shit little nuts and throw your nuts away, and you use the big cojones, and you use those because these are beefy and strong. They're literally, the wall thickness is thicker. Everything about them in every dimension when you measure is thicker, heavier. And when you see the back of the skirt of the one in there and the back of the skirt in the one in there, that was machined off the same machining in factory at the correct pitch, at what degree angle within a nanometer, just about, and the width to fit onto whatever the factory supplied with theirs. So you know that this will match up with what's on the unit. This was machined by another machine in another country, not meant to match up what came on there. It'll be close, and a lot of guys will say close enough, but if I had like 47-degree pitch in here and the manufacturer had 47-degree pitch there, I would want that one. I would not want one that was 45-degree or 46-degree or 1 degree off to be trying to mate up what the factory came on, and plus these little thin janky walls. Alright, so that's another thing. Do not reuse line set. Do not use the nuts off of your line sets. You could keep them as emergencies in case you ever lost one on a job site, but remember, this is just janky shit they give you, and that's all.